Hey everybody, this is Mr. Mounts. So since me and Mrs. Bravold will not be here, I am going to be going over a lesson through this video. So today we're going to be solving systems of equations by substitution. Now we already did graphing, so this is going to be the second technique that we will use throughout this whole unit. So you should have a piece of paper right now, and it should be the solving systems of equations by substitutions, and the first sentence is the substitution method is used to eliminate one of the variables by replacement. So I'm going to try to write replacement. It's kind of hard to write on. Right there, when solving a system of equations. Hey Ron.
How's it going?
So when we do this, we're going to have a couple steps. So the first one is solve one equation for, I'm going to switch the number because it's easier, one variable. So what that looks like is it's going to say y equals 5x plus 10, or x equals 2y plus 1, or whatever the case may be. So we just have a variable completely by itself. Okay, so the second one right here is going to be, you guessed it, substitute the expression from step one into the other equation. Because remember, in system of equations we have two equations. So for one of them we're going to have something like y equals 2x, and then for the next one, if we have 5y plus 4 equals 10, we are going to sub in for y with 2x. So we would have something like 2x plus 4 equals 10. I know that's kind of hard to see there. But that's what we're going to do. Is so we have one equation solved for, so we're going to sub it into the other one. So then we're going to simplify and solve the equation. Don't worry about that. I just made up that entire equation there, that entire system. Okay, and then number 4. So we're going to check our answer. We're going to substitute back into either original equation. Okay? So once we do that, we're going to get the other variables. So say in this example how I solved for y. In this next one I would find what x was. Okay? So that's what the fourth step is. And then the fifth one, we're going to check the solution in both equations of the system. And that just makes sure that we have the right answer. Okay? Because we like to check our work. Okay, so example 1. Okay, it's similar to the one I made up. So we have y equals 4x and we have 3x plus y equals negative 21. Okay, so notice how this is solved for. We have y equaling something. So all we're going to do is we're going to sub it into this one right here. So we're going to write 3x plus, so instead of y, I'm going to write 4x equals negative 21. Okay? So now we just solve for this variable. So we have like terms on the same side of the equation. So 3x plus 4x equals 7x. Equals negative 21. I didn't change anything on that side, so I'm just going to leave it. So my last step is going to divide by 7, divide by 7. After I do that, I'm going to have x equals negative 3. Okay, so remember this is multiplication, so to get rid of it, we divide. Negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. Okay, so that's one of our answers. We got to find our other one. So we can plug this in, x equals negative 3, to either of the original equations. So I'm going to do the top one since it looks like it's simpler. So y equals 4, and I'm going to plug in negative 3. So once I do that, I should get y equals negative 12. So then I got my two answers. I can write it like this because remember we write in ordered pairs. So we got negative 3, comma, negative 12. So then I can check this by plugging it into either equation. Again, I'm going to use that first one because it looks a little more simple. So then I got negative 12 equals 4 times negative 3. And that is true. Negative 12 does equal negative 12. So I know I did it properly. So let's move on to another example. So again, in this example, we have y solved for, which is good. That's what we want when we're substituting. So we're just going to plug in exactly what you see there for y. So we're going to have 5x minus, parentheses, this is important here, negative x plus 10. Okay? That equals 2. So 5x minus, in parentheses, negative x plus 10 equals 2. So remember, it's almost like there's a 1 here, and we're going to distribute. So distribute it there and distribute it there. So then we're going to have 5x plus x, because a negative 1 times a negative x is a positive x, and then a negative 1 times a positive 10 is minus 10, equals 2. Combine our like terms, 6x minus 10 equals 2. Add 10, 6x equals 12. So then we're going to get x equals 2. These cancel. Make sure we divide by 6, sorry. Going a little faster. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay? So that is our first answer, is x equals 2. Okay, so let's plug it back in to one of our originals. Y equals, so I'm going to plug it into this one right here. Y equals negative 2 plus 10. Okay, we're going to have y equals negative 2 plus 10. And that is going to be a positive 8. So then we're going to have something like this, 2, 8. Again, we can plug that in and check. So then we're going to have 8 equals negative 2 plus 10. And that is true. 8 does equal 8. So again, we just start with the equation that's solved for, y equals, and we're just going to substitute into that variable. We subbed in for y there, okay? So other situations. So sometimes you might get something funky where you get something that looks like 0 equals 4 or 2 equals 2. Now if the numbers don't equal each other, they're going to be no solutions. If the numbers do equal each other, it's going to be all solutions. Let's do this next example and we should see something that looks like that. Okay, so on this one it looks like we have y equals 2x minus 2. So since that's solved for, I'm going to plug that in for y on this one. So then we're going to have 2x plus 3. Again, remember, put it in parentheses. 2x minus 2, okay, equals 10. So I just took my y and I plugged it in for right there. So then I got to distribute. So I got to take that 3 times 2x, 3 times negative 2. So 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and I'm just going to write the rest of my equation. So I'm going to combine my like terms, which my x is right here. Right. It's going to give me an 8x minus 6 equals 10. Okay, then I got plus 6, 8x equals 16. Remember, this is like multiplication here, so I'm going to divide by 8, and I get x equals 2. Okay, so now I got to take that and I got to plug it back into one of these. So I can either plug it in there, or I can take it and plug it in there. So let's do the bottom one. So 2 plus 3y equals 10. Okay. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3y equals 10. Subtract my 4, because it's a positive 4. Subtract my 4. I'm going to get 3y equals 6. And then I'm going to get y equals 2. I'm going to get that from dividing by 3. So then again, my final answer will be 2, 2. So that's the gist of it. Go ahead and pause this video whenever you have to, because sometimes I might have gone a little faster than normal, but I'm just trying to get this to you guys within about 6 or 7 minutes. And go ahead and work on the homework. It should be on the board, but it is going to be page 245, number 9 through 13, number 18, and number 32. And next class, me and Mrs. Brattle will be able to help you guys, and we'll go over that homework in more detail.